Hello everybody, and just here and welcome back to Isekai Shikkaku episode 12, the finale, in which I have absolutely no clue what's gonna happen. Because the previous episode was a very nice finale to to an arc, and now we have like one episode left. So we would have to start a new arc and then conclude it in a way that would be worthy of a season finale, basically, right? So I'm really having trouble trying to figure out what this episode could even possibly be, besides maybe being a hook for season 2, right? Like, this episode could be some whatchamacallit, not a one-liner, but I forgot the word for it. Like a self-contained little episode, but it might contain some like big reveal or big twist or something like that that will hook us into season 2. That's basically the one and only thing that this episode could be. But first, let's maybe talk about the previous previous episode, right? The previous episode was a finale to the whole Wolf and Yuriko arc, in which our heroes' sons, Osamu, made it to Wolf, and unfortunately Yuriko was a little bit too strong for them, because she is the angel of greed, if I'm not mistaken, and that gives her the power to raise the dead. Somehow that's connected. Then again, it's not like their monikers are something like, that has power in the like context of the world, right? It's not like their power comes from that cardinal sin. It's rather that they called themselves that, so, it doesn't necessarily have to match fully. And her main power, so to speak, and someone is calling me. Great. No. Decline. There we go. No, I don't want to stop recording. Okay, good. So, what was I? Fuck, it took me out. Right, Yuriko's power, her main power is being able to like suck out people's vitality or like youth, right? Suck that bit out of them, and that like has to do with greed, kind of, sort of, right? She wants that power, that life force, whatever you want to call it, for herself. So the fight was not easy, and they were about to be obliterated by Yuriko's summon, her like stand thing. Thankfully, see, I got out of the rhythm of making the video, and now I'm having trouble finding words. Thankfully, they were saved by Osamu crashing through the wall with his steam-powered coffin that he ordered from the dwarves. So that was a cool moment. And was it before or was it after that? It was after. It was after that Wolf tried protecting Osamu from the like Yuriko blast, and he got hit by the vitality youth sucking beam himself and got aged up a little bit, or his arm, I think, did. And Osamu, of course, sensei was completely nonplussed about it, because he heard from the old lady the story of Yuriko and her, and was very interested in that. And when he's interested in a story, in carrying that story to the end, there's no force on this or any other earth that could stop him. And so he reveals that the old lady that Wolf was visiting and Yuriko are sisters. Yuriko came to this world first, then we learn in the flashback. Yuriko got isekai'd to this world, and Wolf was her master, and he was teaching her. But she was not making much progress with her power, and so Wolf told her that, you don't have to be a combatant, right? You don't have to fight. There are like other things you could do. But she, of course, wanted to make up for the good that she was shown by Wolf, and she wanted to fight the evil lord. And so their life was going happily until Yuriko's sister also arrived. And that's where trouble began, because Yuriko's sister was very powerful in whatever it is, the ability that she has. And so Wolf was paying all of the attention to her. Yuriko felt a little bit jealous, a little bit abandoned, right? And felt a lot of grief and anger because her sister took something from her again. At this point, we don't fully know what that is, but it is late, and Yuriko, that's where Yuriko's powers like fully awoke, and she used them to like suck her sister into the underworld or whatever. And that's where her story ended. But then we learn more from Yuriko herself. We learn that they indeed were sisters, and Yuriko's sister, what was her name? Something starting with M, I believe. Mari, something like that. She was always sickly, and they only had a father who was a single father of them both, and thus Yuriko always had to be with her sister, always by her bedside, always protecting her, taking care of her. And because of that, a lot was missing her. All her school life, all of her possible potential friends, everything she had to give up for the sake of her sister, essentially. And that was the source of her grief. So one day she decided to wear her serafuku after all, run away from home briefly, not even run away, just go out and visit the school. That was the day of the school graduation. She couldn't go there, of course. Her father wouldn't be there with her, and she saw all of those kids with their parents coming back from school. So after hours after the school has closed, she went out there, told herself congratulations, and came back home. Unfortunately, while she was away, her sister had some sort of an issue, and her father was very angry that Yuriko has left, which prompted Yuriko to leave again and get hit by a truck. And that's how she got isekai'd. We learn later that her sister, why did she get isekai'd? Well, that was because the world without Yuriko, she kind of lost hope in it. She did not want to live in a world without her sister, and so she herself went out of the house, and she also got hit by a truck, and that's how she made there. So, a story of I don't want to say an abusive father, but an abusive father. Parentifying your child is 100% an abuse, a form of abuse, and that's basically what was the issue. What issue they had, and what pushed both of them to get isekai'd. They hugged it out. They told each other like the truth about their feelings, right? It's not that Yuriko hated her sister. It's not like her sister hated Yuriko. None of that. It's not even that Wolf abandoned Yuriko, but rather her sister told Wolf that, listen, I'm gonna take the brunt of the learning and fighting and whatnot. Just let my sister live her own life, unburdened by anything like that. I want to make it up to her, which Yuriko, of course, understood as being abandoned because nobody told her why she's being given so much slack, and so she couldn't know. A lot of miscommunication, a lot of just bad stuff happened, but in the end they hugged it out, they talked it out, and they got un-isekai'd by Sensei. So Yuriko is back to staying with her sister, and her sister is back to being bedridden. But now they know their true feelings, so there's that at least. Sure, I'll say that's a good ending. Why not? It's fine to be chained as long as you like how your chain looks, I guess. So whatever. And that was a good finale to the entire arc, and that's why I'm having trouble figuring out what today's episode's gonna be. Unless maybe it's gonna be more like a bit of a closing episode, right? They're gonna talk with Wolf about where Satchan might be and stuff like that. They're gonna handle that. They're gonna handle the... Is the city under siege? It probably still is under siege, right? It's probably still something we have to handle. And then we're probably gonna see some hook into season 2, and that's where it's gonna end. I think that's a fair assumption. So how about we just watch this episode, right? And if you're unfamiliar with how last episodes work on the channel, we're gonna watch it as usual. We're gonna go through it again as usual. Then I'm gonna go through my theories, mark them in one of 3 colors, whether I guessed it, didn't guess it, or it's up in the air. And I'm gonna talk about the episode. I'm gonna talk about my opinion about the season. And that's where the episode ends, so this one's gonna be a little bit longer than usual. So, without further ado, how about we watch this episode, the finale of the season, shall we? And to do that, you're gonna need your subs to follow along with me. I'm gonna need my sound to hear what's going on in the show, and I'm gonna have to ask you for support. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon, YouTube down below, or not. Share my content, spread the word, cost nothing, helps a lot. And with that, we can start watching episode 12 of Isekai Shikkaku, the finale, in 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, the city is still under siege. Or maybe not. True. And here they come. Right, that was the un-isekaiing, and that's Satchan. Hello. Are we gonna meet her? Is that gonna be the, like, big thing this season? This episode? No opening. I mean, it's like his territory, so... Oh? Satchan? So I guess that wasn't like the finale of the arc. It was the climax of the arc, but not the finale. Oh, this guy. Also, since there's no opening, then I'm gonna say now, like and subscribe. Yeah, and a couple others. You're gonna manage against him? Are you? We don't really know what his powers are, except armor. Not powerful enough is my bet. Yeah, don't get cocky. Fire? Oh no, just a generic, like, magic sound. I'm assuming, yeah, otherworlder powers don't work against his armor either. Neither do divine beast techniques. He can, like, what? Suck magic up? Or... Oh, that's a cool sword. And it shattered. Huh? I guess Nier has a really nice sword. Huh. Apparently. And I'm assuming Misery let him go because he wants Nier to become like a worthy opponent or something like that, right? Hence the smirk and hence telling him to hone his skills, right? I wonder if Nier's skill would work against his armor or his sword's skill. Yeah, I'd say debatably, but at least they're happy. They could have been, but sure as fuck they weren't. True. Yeah, also debatable, I would say. Summoning the most miserable people, it doesn't often end well, does it? I would say that there's a very slim chance that it will end well. So even in that alone, his methods are not great, and they're also not great in the way of, summoning people from another world without their consent. I'm assuming the assumption is that they will not mind getting isekai because there's nothing waiting for them in the real life, right? But still. Ah. Gotta try harder, mate. Is he gonna meet Satchan? Or are they gonna like... Hello, Satchan. He recognizes the song? This is the first time I see him shaken up. Sensei. Those are some empty eyes. I did not expect them to meet this early. Sure, let's commit double suicide together, then we're gonna talk about what happened. Perfect plan, Sensei. Oh, she doesn't want to. Not anymore. She found something she values in life? He did. Yep. Yes, you did. You're acting awfully emotional right now, very unlike you. Yeah, kinda. Without even really realizing. Now that is despair. You're gonna be able to write a nice, thick book about it. Okay, so I guess we're keeping it. Yeah, he's broken. No, Satchan isn't there. Not gonna work. Oh. Huh. Not consumed due to infinite quantity? Oh, right. What's up with the sword? Is he gonna know about it? Grow into it. Yep. It's too great for you now, so train hard to become worthy of it. Cool. That's the plan. Right, carbon monoxide poisoning. Okay, we're only halfway through the episode. Yeah, they have new designs in the, like, halftime image. So melancholic, not melancholy. Unless there's, like, melancholy personified, and then you can call that creature the melancholy. But if you're talking about the state of someone, then they are melancholic. Wait, I thought there was like more of them who were defeated. Oh, so he's Sloth, I assume. That's a weird face. I'm assuming her eyes are special, like what they're able to discern the strength of someone at a glance, or something like that. Okay, she's the leader. That was also kind of sort of expected. Did she have, like, location magic or something? Okay. Makes sense. Oh, I thought he's talking about Osamu. But... Oh. Gotcha. Shrine. Orange. Okay, well, next stop, I guess. No, not particularly. Yeah, whatever. Overpowered. Damn, dwarven craftsmanship is strong. Just like that. Yeah, no biggie. I mean, not on purpose. Accidentally. Out of fuel. And that's the Fairy Queen. Portal to orange. And sure enough, it's orange. That is the Fairy Queen. Damn, she big. It should have been me, not him. uh... Solulu and Elulu. Okay. A variation on Oberon. So, like, you're responsible for the Demon Lord or something? I mean, the latter certainly makes things easier, but not in the long term, and he's probably gonna find answer C. Yeah. True. I gotta say. Okay. He's back to his usual self at least. Oh. Ash. Right. Oh, that was Esha. Right. Infinite drugs. uh. Well, right. Oh, that is Nier's sword. Nier is a hero doesn't necessarily have to be an otherworlder, right? So it's not necessarily that Nier is a child of an otherworlder, is it? Right. Right, those with pure hearts can't fix things, probably. So how about we try someone else, maybe, for a change? Someone who doesn't pretend to be holier than thou and whatnot. Oh, gonna... Oh, I thought she's gonna, like, enchant the string or something. Okay, but what even is the goal of the journey now? A whistle. Right, and he's gonna be able to summon those twin fairies, probably. Yep. Hmm. Okay, we have like 2 more minutes or so. Yeah, very good question. As I said, what even is the goal now? The whole goal was finding Sachan. Now that Sachan has been found, what's the goal now, right? Besides just traveling for the sake of traveling and defeating the fallen angels. Which is not Sensei's goal necessarily, so. Destroyed? Oh. Not quite. Oh. He's gonna abuse the fuck out of this whistle. Sure. You gotta. That's what the queen signed you up for. Yep. He's back and cold, apparently. Another party member, or is she just gonna be random? Oh, just a summon. I guess she doesn't have particularly powerful magic since she can't just magic those statues into their proper setup. What man? Oh, Sensei. I mean, yeah, sure, possibly. Hmm. A little bit of both. You know, a healthy dose of chaos to shake up the status quo and bring upon the peace in the end. Something like that, maybe? I guess it finally ran out of fuel, eh? At least it has wheels. Okay, so not quite the kind of a season 2 hook that I expected. Sure. This episode, I don't want to say that, we could have done without it. Was it strictly necessary, though? I don't know, somewhere like in the middle between those two. Let's watch it again, shall we? Yes, we shall. So, yeah, they're running away, apparently. Probably because they were ordered to by Satchan, or because they're running away because they know telepathically that Yuriko was defeated, or something like that. I don't know. Has been sent away from some stag by the power described in Isha's report. Right. This world's savior. Looks like a new guest has arrived. I fully expected Satchan to enter right now, but no, it was Misery. Following Gluttony, Greed has been defeated as well. And a couple others, like sure, Kaibara, Gluttony was defeated, Greed, Yuriko was defeated as well. I guess the likes of like Suzuki, Kotaro, they don't count among the fallen angels, right? So okay, sure. If that is the case, then yeah, 2 of the 7 have been defeated. Yeah, a little bit too cocky, and the armor can apparently reflect or nullify magic, can nullify otherworlder abilities, apparently, can nullify divine beast feast ultimate techniques, and everything else. I was afraid for a moment that he maybe like consumed Tama's power, right, and like left her completely powerless, right, like he's sucking this technique out of her so that she no longer has it. But no, it was mostly just nullification. And here we have Nier, completely and utterly shattering this sword. That was cool. And he seems very pleased about it. Yeah, hone your skills. Presumably, I'm gonna be back, and I want you to be a worthy opponent. Something like that. Every story needs a warrior like that who wants to create the perfect opponent for themselves. Isekai Shikkaku. There we go. Misery wants Nier to become his perfect opponent, right? Like right now nothing challenges him, nobody can put a dent in him, nobody can attack him with magic. It's kind of boring. But here is someone who can actually put up a fight. Well, not quite yet, right? He's still too young, too inexperienced, too weak. But when he grows and when he learns and when he studies and becomes stronger, he's gonna be a fun fight to have, right? That's basically what it is, I think. Chased off that angel, sure enough. I'm glad the other Worlder sisters got a happy ending. I'm not so sure they did. Yeah. I'm not so sure either. They were unhappy in their original world, but were they happy here? I would say they could have been happy. But they were like completely mishandled. In this world, when they made it here, they were together, and Yuriko's sister no longer was bedbound. Yuriko was no longer under the boot of their oppressive father. She no longer had to care for her sister, right? They got that freedom. Except, as I said, they were mishandled. First of all, because Wolf did not tell Yuriko that her sister wanted her to be more free, and that's why he doesn't spend time with her. Because they didn't discuss the whole situation together. Because they didn't air out their grievances, right? Because none of that happened. Because everybody was operating based on assumptions, based on what they think is right, Things like that. It was only after the sensei arrived that they had a chance to work through their issues, right? And figure out like a good setup that fits them both. So it could have been handled better, and if it was, they could have been happy in this world. Absolutely. But as I said, mishandled. Were they not summoned for our convenience to experience unhappiness here as well? Sure, yes, that's exactly what happened. They were summoned here for your convenience, which is very, whatchamacallit, like inconsiderate, for sure. But at least the system is good in so much as it summons only people who are completely miserable. So people who would not mind being summoned, ideally, right? Like someone is miserable in this current world, they get summoned to fantasy world and are given the power of, I don't know, shooting flames from their hands or whatever, right? That's a bit of a step up. And even if they meet some adversity, even if they meet some unhappiness in this fantasy world, that will surely be less than in their original world, right? That is the assumption, which is already like much more than summoning rituals like that in isekai shows usually have, because usually they're just summoning whoever is the strongest. And if they happen to have a perfectly good life and they have a wife and children and a good job and great friends and they're like high on life, and they get summoned into some medieval shithole where they have to fend off fucking demons at every corner, well, that's a step down, right? So at least this system is good in that it ideally would elevate those people. Now, as I've been saying all this time, whether it's a good idea to be summoning miserable people and only miserable people, that's a different matter entirely. People who were very lacking during their life in real world might come to this world and want to make up for it, not necessarily in, you know, good ways, right? People who were abused might become the abusers. People who were starving might become very gluttonous, right? We've seen things like that happen already with the evil otherworlders that we've defeated. So there's probably some balance to be found here, but sure, yeah, they are being summoned for convenience, and they do absolutely experience unhappiness in this world, for sure. Are the methods of His Holiness of all of us from Helzehen truly right? Yeah, I mean, as right as you could make them, possibly. Because what other choice do you have, really? Like, we know that there was a hero. We don't know if the hero was another worlder, or was he just a person from this world? I don't know. Yeah. Melos' little romance did not work out. And this romance did not work out either. Very first time we see Sensei this shaken up. Like, standing in the face of death, standing in the face of bodily injury, whatever, nothing phases him. Now he saw Satchan. That is the big thing, right? He doesn't care about anything else that much as he does about Satchan. I have so much to tell you. Let's commit suicide together. This... I wonder if there's like a specific term for it. But it seems to me like this goal kinda kept with Sensei through just the sheer like force of whatchamacallit? Not a force. A fuck. Like, things put in motion stay in motion. That's what I mean, essentially, right? This was the goal that he set off with, and that is the goal that's constantly in his mind, but I don't think he, like, consciously follows it, right? And I don't think that he consciously, like, wants to go with it, if you know what I mean, right? Like, sometimes I make a plan when I go out somewhere, do whatever, right? I make a plan, I don't know, I'm gonna eat at KFC. I'm gonna get myself some KFC now that I'm out. And it's like constantly with me. And I maybe went and ate somewhere else. But then I have to go to the KFC and just get myself like single fucking chicken wing or whatever to just, the goal that I had of eating at KFC kind of stuck with me despite anything that happened. And I think this might be something like that, right? Like, if he were to sit down and think about it, I don't think committing suicide with Sachan would be his like actual goal. Not anymore. What would be his goal? I don't know. I think he would need to find it again. But the fact that he said initially, right, I have so much to tell you with so much like life in him. Right? But first, like, he's not even like thinking in, cause and effect. Like, if we commit suicide together, we can't talk. I can't tell you everything. Right? It's just stuck with him that this is my goal and just kind of works automatically towards it. But yeah, you've changed quite a bit since the last time I saw you. Now there's light in your eyes. Indeed there is. Indeed there is. He did change. And I really think that by the end of this story, however long it's gonna take, his goal will no longer be committing suicide. I think he might actually find joy in life. Maybe Sachan won't. Maybe Sachan will actually go with it. But I'm not so sure. I'm really not so sure. But yeah, right now, of course, he's broken. We like immediately go through a very like, I don't want to say poignant, but kinda scene, right? Very like important and whatnot, and we just put a comedic spin on it. I don't want to say it cheapens that whole scene with Sachan, but I don't know, bit of a whiplash, just a tiny little bit. There's something up with it. The sword is too great for you, but you can someday become a warrior worthy of this sword. I like it. I like this approach. Right? Like, this sword is way too good for you right now. You can't use it to its full potential. You can't make the most out of it. So grow and learn and become worthy of it. You can become worthy of it. You aren't now, but you can. Good. I like it. I was afraid for a moment that he's gonna maybe take this sword from Nier and give him some other sword or something like that, but no, not quite. It's probably still an unruly horse in need of adjustments. Right. And you're normally so melancholy. Melancholic. This is not the first time I see this form of the word melancholy used incorrectly like that, and I have no fucking clue why it happens. Zero clue why it happens. If anybody here in the comments has any idea why people don't like use the proper form of this word, let me know, because I have no clue. We have a certain word in Polish, uw, short word that basically, what would be? The meaning of it is basically like this one in particular, right? Like, I don't know, uw długopis, right? This one particular pen, right? Something like that. And people, and it's not a word that's used very often, and people don't like declinate it either. They just say uw książka, uw osoba, uw krzesło, etc., etc., but it does declinate. In Polish, there are like grammatical genders of words. So if the gender of a thing like książka would be feminine, you declinate uv as owa książka, right? Or ową książkę, depending on the format, etc. But people just use uv everywhere. And I heard a nice theory that people see this word so rarely that when they want to seem intellectual, that, I know this word, and they use it, but they know only the single fucking form of this word, so they always use that one. Melancholy is not a hard word. So why do people not use the correct form? I don't know. That was a bit of an aside. Let's continue. You're in good mood. Yeah, one would think that she would be in bad mood because it turns out that the sensei is no longer the person that she thought he would be, but apparently not. Sloth. Sure. I guess fits him. Stays inside, drinks some wine, and that's all he does. He does indeed have the power to change his word. He's as wonderful as ever. Satchan can see power with her special eyes or something like that. It's getting windy. Satchan can see magic with her special eyes. That's what makes him worthy of me, right? And she didn't... Yeah, this is interesting. Like, she went there, she saw that Sensei is no longer who she thought he is, and she no longer wants to go through with it, but yet still believes that, yeah, he's worthy of me, like, he's the only one for me and whatnot. Could it be that she hopes to bring him so much grief and misery that he comes back to how he was? Maybe. Satchan wants to give Sensei so much grief and misery, he goes back to how he was. Safe assumption, I would say. And of course the big reveal that she is the leader, she is the queen. There could still be a king. Probably not though. She's probably their like actual leader, which means she's probably very strong. We don't know what her power is exactly though. I was like half expecting that for a while we're gonna go for parallel storytelling, right? Bit of Tamanir and Annette going around the world looking for Sensei, bit of Sensei doing, I don't know, his own self-discovery arc or something like that, right? You sometimes have things like that happen when one of the characters, most often the main character, kind of gets separated, goes through their own growth, and then reconnects with the team. So I was kind of expecting something like that, which I guess is what happened, but in a very like short time span. Orange. Trials, yeah, just blazing through them. Some really good dwarven craftsmanship, I gotta say. Only the hero passed the trials received the Fairy Queen's blessing. Yeah, we have no indication whether he's an otherworlder or not. And damn, people with giantess fetish are eating good today. The second human to visit this place. Orange, Fairy Queen, Oberis. So kind of like Oberon, right? The Fairy King. I thought that maybe Oberis would be a portmanteau of the Fairy Queen and Fairy King, but no, the Fairy Queen is Titania and King is Oberon, and this is not a portmanteau of Oberon and Titania, so I guess it's just supposed to be Oberon, but feminized, so Oberis. Grant my protection to those who reach this place. We fairies desire peace in this world. Your duty is to accept my protection and fulfill that wish. Why did I get confused here for a moment? I might have misread the subtitles because I thought that... I don't actually know what it said, but I thought that fairies are like the bringers of peace in the world, and the fact that there is a demon lord and that there is no peace in the world is like some sort of an elaborate plan by the fairies, but or something like that. But no, I've no clue where that even came from now that I'm reading the subtitles. Which is needed to save the world? Is it trust in others or absolute power? See, neither. Neither and both, to a degree. Right? Absolute power, sure, it certainly helps to save the world. Like, if someone actually like good-natured and good-intentioned, right? Someone good were to take absolute power over our world right now, for example, right? Absolute, complete world domination. So many issues with the world could have been fixed like that with a single decree, right? So many things. World hunger, fucking no more, right? Things like that, basically. So yes, absolute power certainly helps. Trust in others, well, that of course helps as well. Even if you are the absolute ruler, you can't have your eyes on everything. You have to have your trusty aides whom you can trust to carry your will, right? And whom you can trust to bring proper and truthful information back to you, right? Stuff like that. The very like basic thing. So both things are needed and more. Being good-natured, being a good person, having lots of wisdom and having lots of knowledge, right? All those things are necessary. Not just this. Love, friendship, power of the Nakama, whatever. It's not just a simple binary choice between the two. So yeah, I understand Sensei giving a completely different answer. Not quite the answer that I would have given, but still. The people of this world sure do love choices. Yeah, it's not the first time that he was given a very binary choice, and he picked a completely different option. World peace doesn't matter to me. Let those who are suffering suffer, and those who will fall, fall. Sure. Has asked his protection. Right. A man people called a hero once came to this land and received my protection. That is the sword that Nier has. So, I mean, that's not much of a theory, but... I'm not even gonna note it down. Nier is the hero's father. We just don't know who the hero is. Is he just a regular person from this world, or is he an otherworlder? Could it be that bringing otherworlders doesn't actually help? Bringing otherworlders doesn't actually help. The world can create its own heroes, right? Like, assuming that he is a hero of the people and not of the otherworlders. Maybe. But what reason would there be for summoning otherworlders then? Could it be that the Pope desires power? Maybe. Yeah, now Zoiberberg has fallen into even greater chaos precisely because of the otherworlders. The elves in the north call themselves Helsehen and observe the world. 7 humans defeated the ruler of dragonkind. So, see, not even like evil demon lord, just the ruler of dragonkind. What if he wasn't the demon lord? It's just the Helsehen told them that he's the demon lord. Hell yeah. Helsehen just told other worlders the Dragon Lord is a demon lord while he was not. Just for the sake of eradicating the demons, perhaps, right? Like, I'm immediately reminded of Helk, right? Helk and the whole entire human propaganda about demons, right? Something like that. I wonder. I'm gonna say in parentheses, Helk. Seven fallen humans defeated the ruler of dragonkind, and now countless other worlders have entered the mix. Right, those are the demon lords that were brought upon this world. Also, a very good question, like, why summon so many other worlders? That's a good question. Usually you would need like 1 or 2 or a team of 3, for example. Summon them, train them, gear them up, and send them against the demon lord. That's usually how it goes. Why summon hundreds and hundreds of them? And some of them might turn to bad, and some of them might turn to good. Why? To induce chaos artificially into the world? I'm gonna note down why summon so many other worlders? Question mark. There's nothing those with righteous hearts who make only righteous choices can do about this anymore. Yeah, it's kind of got out of control, didn't it? A single hero can't exactly defeat like 7 hero level other worlders, can they? And so Sensei was summoned here to fix this, to bring this world back to status quo, remove all the other worlders so that this world can remain this world. Sensei is here to bring back status quo of, or quo of 0 other worlders. It was the word that led him here, yeah? Safe to assume, actually. You and your soulmate will be reunited at the end of your journey. They will be the last ones to leave this world. Sensei and Sachan are the last ones to leave. And with whatever method Hellsheim is using to summon them destroyed, with all the other worlders sent back, they will be the only 2 remaining other worlders. They will leave, and the world will go back to how it should be again. Yeah, I think I'm onto something here. That's an interesting cut. Interesting animation where those 2 fingers are just flat PNGs and they're sliding apart. Live a while longer and continue your journey, and you will save the world by accident. Blow this whistle when you are faced with trouble. The fairy shall grant you our strength. And, I mean, he was faced with trouble, for sure. And the fairies can deal with it. So we get another party member, if only temporary. Yeah, another, like, not another, new straight man in the party, essentially, right? Like, for a while, Tama was the straight man. Now she's kind of get used to the party. Then Nier was the straight man. Now he's used to the party as well. So now we need another straight man, and that's gonna be the fairy, probably. Yeah, probably doesn't have much magic, does she? Don't you need to take that man to see the Pope? I think it's good that he didn't take Sensei to see the Pope. I don't know why exactly, but is it peace or chaos? Either way, the fate of the world has been entrusted to them. Sure. Safe to assume that that is the case. Let's continue our journey. There we go. That's the end of the episode and the end of the season. So, as we always do, let's start with going through the theories. We don't have that many. We only have like a page and a half. So, second layer to the... what? Second layer to the reason for isekaiing people, right? That isekaiing people just... that the, like, reason for isekaiing people is not fighting the demon lord, but that there is something more. Safe to assume, but we don't have a proper confirmation. The more miserable a person is, the more power they get when isekai'd as a way of gods making the misery up to them. Again, we don't really know the mechanics. Osamu has poison immunity. Yeah, basically, like, the pills don't do anything to him. And when the whatchamacallit, when the scorpion stabbed him with the stinger, the scorpion got poisoned, not him. Annette keeps asking for Satchan, but she weren't introduced. But she did what? It reads like rarer, and I don't think that's the word that I meant. But basically, yeah, Annette kept asking for Satchan, but she didn't introduce herself as such. No, not really what happened. I really thought that this entire season, if not the entire story, will be, you know, asking around for Satchan. And then it turns out that she introduced herself as Saki, for example. And who the fuck is Satchan, right? We don't know her. Valdelia has a grudge against Otherworlders because they killed her father. Yeah, basically. Suzuki has mind control powers. Who was Suzuki? Oh, the blonde guy. Yes, those were his powers indeed. Sensei's gift is making stories continue. We don't know fully, but it would be something in that vein. Sachan and Osamu end up committing double suicide after all. Not yet, at least. Satchan wants to go through with suicide, Osamu no longer does. Kind of the opposite happened, actually. But we didn't really, like, get to the end of the story. The closer Osamu is to death, the more resistant to death he becomes. Kaibara was starving in real world, hence power to eat. Starved by humans, eat humanoids. No, he wasn't starved. He was like the opposite. Starving, actually. His gluttony was like more metaphorical. Sensei gives power to Tama. Yeah, basically he boosted Tama. To Tama or King, yeah, to Tama. Sensei's flesh poisons Kaibara or his maw. No, not quite what happened. It was Tama who defeated Kaibara, and then it was Valdelia who defeated him again. Otherworlder powers don't work on other Otherworlders. They do, I think. Valdelia teams up with Osamu's team for the final fight. Not quite yet, but entirely plausible. The old lady who Wolf visits used to be young. Yes, indeed. But Angel of Greed stole her youth. Yes, that's what happened exactly. Angel of Greed was jealous, wanted Wolf's love. Kinda, sorta. I'm gonna say yellow. Because she was jealous, but didn't, like... It wasn't like romantic jealousy, right? Where another woman arrives and takes my man away, kinda thing, right? The two above caused Wolf to drink. Yeah, probably. Safe to assume that was the reason he started drinking. Sensei ordered a wheeled coffin from the dwarves. Yes, and what a wheeled coffin it was. Misery wants near to become... Oh, and those are the theories from this episode, so I'm gonna leave them be. Not that bad. Not that bad, considering this is just this episode. Not that bad. Then again, there weren't really that many theories, were there? Closed, closed, closed. There we go. So, this episode... I'm honestly not sure of, like, my own feelings towards it. Like, I want to say that it was unnecessary, that we already got a good ending, and that this one was not a good climax for the story, and things like that, but I would be lying if I said that. I don't know why I have the urge to go in that direction, I've no clue, but yeah, this was actually a good episode, and it did give us a lot. It provided a nice like additional closure to that previous arc, right? It gave us closure in that the city is no longer under siege, that Misery lost his weapon, right? We got all that stuff from this episode and more. We got the big reveal, although not like officially, but kind of sort of. We got the reveal that Nier is the son of a hero. We got the reveal that his sword is super powerful. We got Satchan's reveal that she's the queen. We got Sensei have like a newfound direction, newfound goal, right? We got a lot in this episode. So while I would say not like any single bit here was this like, you know, climax of the season, all of those things combined did sum up to this nice little spike, nice little bump. I was afraid this episode gonna be something else, that it's gonna be like a single self-contained story, or that it's just gonna be essentially an OVA, right? Something a little bit more comedic. Maybe they're gonna be resting at hot springs, and there's gonna be you know, haha funny moments because Annette wants to get into bath with Osamu, but Osamu doesn't want to, and right, shit like that. Compared to that, we got something much better. And I did actually enjoy this episode. Surprising that we got to see Satchan this early, because I really thought that looking for Satchan is gonna be like a story spanning thing, and it's only like before the last arc of the story that we're gonna meet her, and the last arc is gonna be about trying to meet her or trying to get her back or something like that. Surprising, because it really takes the story in well, I don't want to say in a completely new direction, but it changes the course ever so slightly, right? Like all this time we had the overarching big goal, halfway unreachable, of finding Satchan, and we had the more concrete and reachable goal of finding all of the evil otherworlders and sending them back. Now we kind of sort of get rid of the first one, but not really, and we're gonna be focusing on the other, but also kind of modified. It's not... I don't think it's about the fallen angels alone anymore. I think it's about all of the otherworlders. It's about healing the world, essentially. And there's gonna be some sort of a poetic... I don't know, poetic thing to the fact that a man with poisonous blood is gonna be the one to heal the world, right? Something like that, maybe. Good episode overall. I enjoyed it. It made for a surprisingly good finale to the season as well. I really have no qualms, besides maybe the bit of a tonal whiplash between Satchan scene and then a scene at the blacksmith. That was just like a, you know, ever so slightly bit of a whiplash, but ultimately, you know, nothing super big, really. Or not really, rather. Now, the season itself. I enjoyed this show. I really did. And I hope we're gonna get a second season. I'm gonna search for that right now, actually. No, I don't think a second season has been confirmed yet. No, not yet, at least. But if it comes out, I'm gonna watch it. Absolutely. Osamu is a very fresh take on the main protagonist, for sure. I really, 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 really enjoy his character. Most characters in this show are good. Annette can be a little grating. I'm not a huge fan of this sort of a comic relief character, I gotta say. But other than that, really, like, Osamu is the highlight here. Absolutely. He is mature. He is very, like, calm and composed and very threatening in this way of, like, not being threatening at all, but at the same time being very imposing. I guess that's the better word to use here. I don't think, not in my recent memory, have I seen a character like that. A character like Osamu. Mostly, maybe it's just because of the kind of anime that I tend to watch, right? So first of all, they mostly lack mature characters because most of them are shonens. And second of all, they lack this sort of, like, calm danger sort of approach, right? Like, when a character in anime usually wants to be threatening in this, like, calm threatening, quote unquote, they show like a glow in their eyes, or the air getting chilly, or like fiery gaze or something like that, right? This show didn't need any of that. Osamu's mere presence was scary to all those different characters, and I really find it fascinating. I really find it very fresh. Find Osamu to be a very fresh protagonist of an isekai show, for sure. And this word itself is also a very fresh take on the isekai genre. Well, not like very fresh. We don't know in full what's exactly the deal here. But if what I theorize is true, and the goal of Osamu is to get rid of the Otherworlders, bring the world to how it was, bring it back to balance, it's going to be something cool. It's going to be something new, because it's no longer going to be about the protagonist having to save the world, or protagonist having to go back to his world. It's going to be about the protagonist having to send everybody back to their world. A little bit as if it was a little bit like Executioner and Her Way of Life, right? But not really. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's cool. I really like the characters in the show. Stories are good as well. I find it like halfway unique in how we kind of interleave those longer arcs with self-contained episodes. That's something nifty. That's something nice. Something new again. Yeah, very interesting world. Very interesting characters. Anything else to say about it? Cool stories. Nothing to, like, write home about much, because we have seen some variations of those stories before in some way, shape, or form. But because of Osamu's existence, I'm gonna call you back. Because of Osamu's existence, if nothing else, right? All those stories are given a nice little twist, and their conclusions are given a nice little twist. Yeah, that's good. Again, we are back to the characters just being the highlight of this show, aren't we? From a technical standpoint, serviceable art, serviceable animation, nothing to write home about, nothing super bad. It's not Frieren, it's not Overlord, it's just a decent looking show with decent animations when they are needed. Some like better looking frames, some worse looking frames, sure. But overall, very like decent. Technically, I guess. Then again, I'm no like animation critic or anything like that. I really enjoyed some of the musical tracks here, for sure. And good voice acting. Annette's voice actress is really doing a great job, sometimes like lowering her voice so much, right? Like when she, as if she's speaking on like empty lungs, if you catch my drift, right? I really, really enjoy that. As much as I'm not a huge fan of this kind of a slapstick comic relief that Annette provides, I'm really a fan of the voice acting work that goes into those moments. Besides that, I mean, everybody was like, I didn't find any particularly grating voices, like in. Then again, I never really do. The only voice acting choice that I took issue with was that one gangster dude in Princess Principal whose name I don't even know, because the voice was so mismatched with the character that it just completely took me out of immersion. But that's the only thing that I can recall. But yeah, technically good story, great characters. I enjoyed this show very much, and whenever another season comes out, hopefully it comes out, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be watching it, and I hope you will be there with me, and you're gonna be watching it as well. But right now, I think that's gonna be it. I expected this episode to be longer, but apparently not. Yeah, that's gonna be it from me for today, but maybe you guys have something more to add on the topic of this episode, my reaction, my theories, stuff like that. If so, say so in the comments below. No spoilers, please. Spoilers can go to my Discord if you'd like. Like this video if you liked it. Subscribe to be notified of future videos. What do we even have left? Everything's been ending, so whatever comes next, other shows, new seasons coming out soon enough. Click the bell to be notified of when I go live and when those videos go out. And I'm gonna be going live, I think this weekend or sometime next week, with my seasonal stream where I'm gonna be taking a look at the next season of anime, and hopefully I will see you there. Be on the lookout for an announcement. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon, where for $10 a month you get early access to non-seasonal shows, and for just $1 you get a role on the Discord and a place in the credits. You can also support me directly on YouTube through memberships, super thanks, super chats, and if you don't want to spend any money whatsoever, you don't have to. Share my content, spread the word, it costs you absolutely nothing and helps the channel a lot. And now, with all of that out of the way, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! And here's my one for Patreons: QB, Without the Ned, Zerene, Sam Greenwood, Yuki Ally, Dr. Wataka, Master Marsh, Fassel, and Hans Peter. And you can join them if you want without having to fix the statues.